A quiet New Year's Day turns into a nightmare when three armed intruders storm a family's home.
So could you move them across here? You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. What time of day did that incident take place?
As I recall, it was early evening. Pretty sure it was after dinner. We had leftovers, but it was before the girls started their bedtime routine.
So sometime after dinner, but before bedtime.
Yes.
Okay. And being that time of year, I would imagine it was dark outside.
Yes.
What did you do after dinner?
So, after dinner, what I recall, the girls were just playing. They cleaned up after dinner, and I went upstairs to do something. I don't remember exactly what. It wasn't anything that was significant enough to remember.
And did something catch your attention?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So I was in our bedroom, and our bedroom is over the garage. And in our bedroom that's attached to in the bathroom that's attached to our bedroom, there's a window that overlooks the driveway. I had heard the noise outside, so I went into the bathroom, looked out the window, and I saw a car outside in our driveway that I didn't recognize.
Can you describe the car at all? Do you recall it at all?
I didn't really get a good look looking down from above. Didn't get a really good look at it.
Do you remember what the sound was that caught your attention?
No, it was, it was obviously the car, whether it was a car door or something like that, but I did hear something in the driveway.
So you look down, you see this car that you don't recognize. What did you do next?
So I left the bathroom, walked down the hall and walked down the stairs. And my wife was right at the bottom of the stairs near our front entrance. And I told her, I said, there's somebody in our house. And we live on a private road in cul-de-sac, so it's not too often we get cars. However, her response to me was that it's likely an Amazon delivery because we still have a few things we had ordered for Christmas that hadn't arrived yet, even though it was past Christmas. So it just made sense that it was an Amazon delivery. And typically in the evenings, it was, from what we noticed, the Amazon trucks deliver during the day, and then they typically have private individuals deliver. So if there was a car or a private vehicle, it made sense that it was an Amazon delivery.
So what did you do at that point?
So that just made sense to me. So I told my wife, I said, okay, I'll go get it. And I walked through our kitchen towards the garage door. Typically, the Amazon delivery, they drop something off like right near our garage. So my intention was to go get the package and go through the garage.
And did you make it all the way to the door?
No.
Did something happen?
Yeah. So at that moment, I walked through the kitchen, and before I was even able to put my shoes on to walk outside, I heard excuse me, I heard commotion, some noises coming from the front door area, and then I heard some screams.
Can you describe for us what commotion and noises you heard coming from the front door area?
So I heard some, like, what I describe as like some thuds or some banging, and then, like I said, quickly after that, I heard screams from little girls and my wife.
Can you describe those screams?
Sure. The screams from the girls didn't, we have, having two girls in the house playing, they oftentimes, are loud and screaming, so that didn't really catch me off guard, but at the same time, my wife screamed and her scream distinctly, and I can hear it in my head right now, was a scream of horror and fear. And I immediately knew that there was something seriously wrong.
Was anybody saying any words?
So when I heard the scream, I immediately turned around and walked back into the kitchen and saw 3 individuals in the house with weapons, and they were, yelling, get down, the typical things that you would think that people breaking into your home with weapons would say, telling them to be quiet, trying to get control of the situation.
Can you describe those individuals that you saw?
So initially, as I walked to the kitchen and they were in the living room, it was 3 African Americans, 2 male and 1 female.
Did you know any of them?
So before I even saw their faces, I knew that this was, I didn't know the 2 males, but I knew the female being Siobhan Jensen.
How did you know that?
So we were made aware of threats through family court as being her foster parents, that she made threats that she would come to our house and take her daughter. So that was in the back of my mind, that it was actually discussed just a few weeks prior to that in family court. So that was in our mind that there was that threat. So just when I saw 3 individuals breaking in their homes with guns, I knew instantly it was her.
And when you turned around and saw them, did that confirm what you had suspected?
Yes.
That individual, Siobhan Vinson, the mother of True, your foster daughter, is she here in court today?
Yes.
Can you point please to where she's sitting and tell us what she's wearing?
She's wearing, my color vision, but she's wearing a shirt with a white undershirt underneath. She's sitting at the table.
Thank you.
Is she seated to your right or left at the table?
She's seated to my left.
All right, very good. Go ahead.
Thank you. Your Honor, will the record reflect that the witnesses both pointed to and identified the defendant?
Without objection, record shall so reflect.
Thank you. You said you saw these 3 individuals and you also saw weapons.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So I saw Miss Vinson holding what looked, I'm not a weapons expert, but what looked like it was a handgun. I would describe it as something similar to a 9mm. The other 2 individuals looked what I would describe as longer guns. Don't know what type.
What were they doing with those guns?
So that happened. I mean, the first.
It was supposed to be a peaceful New Year's Day, a quiet evening after hosting 20 guests the night before. But just after dinner, everything changed. A father hears a noise, looks out the upstairs window, and sees a car he doesn't recognize in the driveway. Moments later, he hears banging, then screams. When he rushes back toward the kitchen, he freezes. 3 armed individuals are already inside his home. Two men with long guns and a woman pointing a handgun straight at him. That woman, the biological mother of their foster daughter, had once threatened to come take her child back, and now here she was. She orders him to sit, orders his wife to move, orders the children held in the living room. Even the elderly father-in-law is dragged out and forced to the ground. For nearly an hour, the family sits at gunpoint, being screamed at, accused of evil, accused of stealing a child, accused of blocking her from God, all while they try to stay calm and de-escalate. A New Year's night meant for rest becomes a fight for survival.
The first interaction was them just trying to come in and control the situation. And the first thing that happened was Miss Vincent turned towards me, with her gun pointed, and told me to sit down in the corner of the kitchen, right around on the other side of the a refrigerator. And so I was the first one to kind of told to sit down, and she quickly pointed the gun towards my wife and told my wife to come and sit next to me. And then, from what I could see, the other two defendants were kind of getting control of the girls. My father-in-law was in our den, which is a small room right by the front door. And at some point, they brought him out into the kitchen and had him lay down.
Lay down how?
I didn't see necessarily how they had him lay down.
Did you hear?
Yeah, I can hear them kind of giving him orders to get, to get over here and lay down.
Okay. And what about the girls? Were you aware at that point of where they were?
Yeah, they were both in the living room. And for context, our house has an open floor plan, so the kitchen, dining room, and living room are all open from one end to the other.
What happens after the defendant has ordered both you and your wife to sit down in the kitchen by the fridge at gunpoint?
Well, she stood very close to us, leaning against our stove, and kind of took control of the whole situation from there, and stayed there pretty much the whole time, and had in a very aggressive way had conversations with us, and yelling at us and accusing us of things, and doing several things throughout the night. She was also, it was very clear that she she wanted to be in charge, and she was in charge of the two other defendants.
That's speculation, yeah. Sustained.
Can you tell us what she was saying to the other two?
She was saying things like, she told them to get my father-in-law and bring him to the kitchen. There were a few things she said that I didn't necessarily hear, but I remember her being upset with one of them doing something that she didn't like, and she kind of corrected them, or and things like that, telling them to go upstairs, things like
Do you know why she told them to go upstairs?
no.
Okay.
And she also, at the end of the event, there were things like my dog was right next to me, because he was a puppy and he was very afraid, and she ordered them to come and grab the dog and take him outside. She also, towards the end, brought her daughter and told them to bring her outside, and she had to come get her coat and actually walk across us to get her coat. And she ordered the two men to do those things.
Do you remember anything else she might have ordered them to do?
Not that I recall.
Okay. I think you also said she was yelling at you and your wife, maybe accusing you of things. Did I hear that right? Yes. Can you tell us the things that she was saying that you remember?
So specifically, she was focused on one particular accusation related, and she was focused on my wife, accusing her of not letting True believe in God, and basically calling us evil and demonic and things like that, because we wouldn't let her believe in God. And just calling us evil, that we were a part of the system, that we all took her daughter